What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Whiffle Wizard video today, guys. And right now, by clicking on this video, you just made history because you were one of the few viewers to watch the first perfect March Madness bracket ever. In history, this has never happened until now. I will be giving you the first perfect March Madness bracket ever. This will go down the history books, the record books. Roll the intro, and let's get into it. Let's get into the perfect March Madness bracket ever. Wednesday, March 18th, you're going to want to keep this date in mind. Let's get into it. Duke versus Siena. Duke pretty easily. First round, we're just going to kind of cruise unless there's an upset, and then I'll talk about it. But Duke pretty easily over Siena. Ohio State versus TCU. This is a tough matchup. If Ohio State was a 6-5-4, I would have them going far, but an 8 seed, they should be higher. Ohio State's going to cruise in this one. Give me Ohio State in the Big Ten. St. John's versus Northern Iowa now. Northern Iowa allows the least amount of points, and we know how they can be good in March. But St. John's, Rick Pitino, one of the best coaches of all time. He's not given up in the first round. St. John's easily cruising through. Kansas versus Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist is probably the weakest of the 13 seeds in my opinion. But Kansas is inconsistent as well. I'm going to go with the Jayhawks, but that could be an upset. And speaking of upset, we got Louisville and South Florida. Louisville's injured. They've been inconsistent, barely beat SMU in the ACC tournament. They're missing Mikael Brown. South Florida's on a hot streak down in Florida. Literally, the rebounding's fantastic. Give me South Florida to get this upset. Michigan State, North Dakota State. Michigan State, we're not going to overthink that one. Tom Izzo's getting to at least the second round. UCLA and UCF. I've seen a lot of UCF, and I don't know why. UCLA has the potential for even Elite 8. UCLA is looking fantastic, especially if they get Dent and Bilodeau back. They're going to look great. UCLA, moving on. UConn and Furman. I underestimated Furman last year. They surprised me. That's fine. They're not going to. The Huskies are going to get it done. Simple enough. Give me the UConn Huskies. Now we've got Florida versus the Lehigh game's going on right now. It won't matter. Gators are going to get it done. They're going to chomp their competition and move to the round of 32. Clemson and Iowa. This and the another matchup we'll talk about are probably the two toughest. I've had Clemson when I first saw the tournament, but now looking at Iowa, this is a March team. I'm going to take the Iowa Hawkeyes to move on to at least the second round. Give me Iowa. Vanderbilt versus McNeese. I picked McNeese last year against Clemson, and that actually did happen. This year I'm not. Vanderbilt's looking fantastic. They look great in the SEC tournament. Give me Vandy. McNeese. I don't think they had the firepower they had last year. Seen a lot of McNeese, but I don't think so. Give me Vandy. Moving on. Nebraska and Troy. This is the one I can see an upset in. Nebraska, no tournament wins ever. Can they get there first? I think they can. But Troy, very good rebounding team. And Nebraska, not as good rebounding. I can see Troy winning the glass. I can see them winning this game, but I'm going to go with the Cornhuskers to win this game. Next, VCU versus North Carolina. Not a fan of these 6 seeds. But I am a fan of the 11 seeds. VCU is moving on a very nice hot streak right now at the Atlantic 10. And North Carolina, they're injured. They're very similar to Louisville. And they did struggle in the ACC tournament. Give me VCU. Pretty comfortable with this one. Illinois and Penn. A lot of people are picking Penn. I can see it. TJ Power's looking fantastic. They have a lot of good role players. You're going to want to pick Penn if you're going crazy. But I'm going Illinois. No question. 6'7" is their average height. And they look fantastic. They can shoot the lights out. They can get offensive rebounds. They're losing a couple games lately, but I'm still going to go Illinois. I'm feeling pretty confident in that pick. St. Mary's, Texas A&M. First time I looked at the bracket, I'm going, oh yeah, it's Texas A&M. Easy. Easy. Coming out of the SEC, how can you not? Or SEC, yeah. But I'm going to go St. Mary's. They do good in the tournament. They always do. They look good against Gonzaga. They look good against Santa Clara. I'm going to go St. Mary's. I can see why you go Texas A&M, but I'm feeling the St. Mary's team this year. And then Houston, Idaho, we're going to go Houston. Nothing much to say about that. Now let's go over to the other side. Arizona versus Long Island. Fins up, baby, but I ain't seeing it. I'm going to go Arizona. I'm seeing a lot of LIU, though. A lot of it. Villanova versus Utah State. This is another tough one. I'm going to be going with Villanova, which I have not seen a lot of. They're coming from the Big East. They have played a lot of great teams over there. I'm just going to go with experience in this season, I'm going to go Villanova over Utah State. But they definitely couldn't get it done. But Villanova, they're moving on. I've already saw it. I'm a time traveler. I'm coming back. Villanova wins. Wisconsin versus High Point. If you want to talk about upset, I've gone to school. I've probably looked at 80% of the brackets that have seen High Point going over Wisconsin. Wisconsin has so much upside. If Boyd and Blackwell get going, Wisconsin shoots the lights out. I'm going Wisconsin over High Point. And this is tough. High Point has the highest point differential ever. They have a great defense. I'm going Wisconsin. I love this Badger team. Give me Wisconsin over High Point right now. Arkansas versus Hawaii. Don't like Hawaii as a 13 seed. Give me Arkansas. Arkansas moving on. BYU and Texas now. Texas did look good. Kind of lost it at the end of the game. NC State almost came back. But BYU, this is a team that could go far. A little inconsistent. They're like Kansas. They're on the other side of Kansas on this bracket, but they're like very similar. I'm gonna go BYU, but this could be tough. Give me BYU. Gonzaga versus Kennesaw State. Not too much here. And now, when I talked about the Iowa and Clemson side, like game that was like really tough for me, this is the other one I'm talking about. Miami and Missouri. This game is being playing in St. Louis, and that is why I'm gonna go with Missouri. I think Miami has a better team, and I think they're built better, but man, I think they're going to show up in Missouri. Give me Missouri to move past them. Now, give me Purdue over Queens. I would love to see Queens, though. That'd be awesome. Okay, Michigan versus Howard. We're going to go Michigan over Howard, obviously. St. Louis versus Georgia. Georgia, in the same situation last year, didn't get it done. I don't think they do either. I don't think they do it this year either. Give me St. Louis, Robbie Avila. I just love this team. I hope they get through. They will. I know they will. St. Louis is going to get through Georgia. Give me St. Louis. Okay, Texas Tech and Akron. Texas Tech is injured. JT Toppin's injured. Lost a couple games here and there. Akron, 10-game win streak, can shoot the lights out. Texas Tech, I think this is going to be a blowout. Give me Akron, Ohio. Give me Akron. Alabama and Hofstra. Hofstra, I've actually seen a decent amount of people pick Hofstra. And they have a good team, but they're not competing with Alabama. Alabama always finds a way to do great in these tournaments. Alabama gets it done. Roll Tide. And they're rolling into the second round. Tennessee versus Miami, Ohio, or SMU. That hasn't happened. It's going to happen later tonight. I'm going Tennessee. I don't think it's going to matter who they play. I think Miami, Ohio is going to get the win, but I have no idea. They could get blown out. They could kill them. We don't know about Miami, Ohio right now. I'm going to go Tennessee either way. Virginia, Wright State. We're going to go Virginia. Santa Clara and Kentucky. This one is very tough. Santa Clara, they play Gonzaga, they play St. Mary's. That's pretty much it in their conference. Kentucky plays against, they're in the SEC. But man, I love this Santa Clara team. They can shoot the lights out. Give me Santa Clara. Kentucky a little bit more consistent, and they haven't done great in a tournament in a while. So I'm gonna go Santa Clara to get that upset. Iowa State and Tennessee State to end the first round of action. I'm gonna go Iowa State. Nothing to say there. Okay, let's go over to the other side now. Duke, Ohio State. I talked about how great this Ohio State team is. Not as good as Duke. Even when Duke has some injuries, I'm going to go with the Duke Blue Devils to move on. Sweet 16 bound for Duke. St. John's versus Kansas. I talked about the inconsistency of Kansas. And man, St. John's, they're looking great. Just won the Big East. They're on fire. Rick Pitino, one of the best coaches of all time. Do I have to say much? Give me St. John's. Next, we've got South Florida and Michigan State. South Florida matched up with any other 3 seed, I might have put them through. But Michigan State is my favorite 3 seed by far. I love this Spartan team. So fun to watch. Cohen Carr, Kohler, Jeremy Fears, obviously, Fort. Just so many great players giving Michigan State and the Spartans to roll on in to the Sweet 16. UCLA, UConn. When UCLA is healthy, they're one of the best teams to hit the court. They will prove it. UCLA moving on, a blue blood matchup, but this one, UCLA gets it done. The Bruins moving on to play Michigan State in the next round, a Big Ten tournament rematch. Florida versus Iowa, we're going to go Florida. Vandy versus Nebraska, we're going to go Vandy. Like I said, Nebraska, not as high as them. I don't think this should be a 4 seed. I don't know what people see in this Nebraska team. I'm going Vandy pretty easy, honestly, which sets up an SEC tournament matchup again. Now VCU, Illinois, we're going to go Illinois. Not too high on VCU. at least in the second round, especially against Illinois. It was high in the first round against North Carolina. They match up so well. But Illinois, much different team, much better team, much healthier team. Illinois moving on. St. Mary's Houston, we're going to go with the Houston Cougars. Move to the other side now. Arizona Villanova, give me Arizona. Arizona going to their zona in the Sweet 16. Wisconsin versus Arkansas. Whoever wins this game will win against Arizona is what I'm saying. I know these teams are fantastic. Fantastic players. Arkansas just won the SEC. Wisconsin shooting the lights out. Almost beat Michigan. Give me Arkansas, though. Darius Acuff is pretty much the best player on the court at all times. Just won the SEC. And can shoot the lights out. Huge streak going on. Just beat Vandy. Just beat so many great teams. Give me Arkansas. Moving on. BYU Gonzaga. Gonzaga, I'm not too high on this year. I'm not going to lie. I'm not. Which means I'm going BYU. Even with their inconsistency, I think AJ Devonta proves why he's the #1 overall pick and moves BYU to the next round. And brings another Cougars team over there. Missouri, Purdue. I said it's in St. Louis. I know that's huge, but Purdue, it pains me. I know it pains me. But this is a perfect March Madness bracket. So Purdue's moving on. Michigan, St. Louis. I don't see any 8-9 wins this year. I did last year with Louisville. And then they lost in their first game to Creighton, and everybody laughed at me in school, but it's okay. Louisville, just walk in, bro. Next, Akron versus Alabama. I talked about how Akron was great, but Alabama always finds a way to be great in the tournament. Give me Alabama to beat Akron. Next, Tennessee versus Virginia. I'm going to go Virginia. Tennessee I'm pretty weak on. A lot of these 6 seeds I am not happy about. You talk about Tennessee, you talk about Louisville, you talk about, yeah. Not high in the 6 seeds. Virginia cruises. They get it done. Same with Iowa State against Santa Clara. So let's go back over where we've got Duke and St. John's. Tough matchup. Tough matchup. This one's going to go down to the wire. But Boozer's going to prove why he's one of the best. Give me Duke Blue Devils, Elite 8. Michigan State Spartans versus the UCLA Bruins. Talked about how the UCLA Bruins, when they're playing at their best, they're nearly unbeatable. Michigan State's looking for vengeance. Tom Izzo, known as one of the best March Madness coaches, he will prove it. I love this team. The passing, the shooting, the rebounding, the dunking. Michigan State Spartans move on and march into the Elite 8. Next, Florida versus Vanderbilt. Rematch of the SEC tournament. But this time, Florida finds a way to get it done. Experience from their national championship last year. They're going to cruise. I got the Gators pretty easily here. Vanderbilt, they're going to have to show up if they want to win, though. Florida gets it done, moving to the Elite 8. Next, Illinois, Houston. Houston, national championship last year. I had them winning last year, but their team's even better now. Kingston Flemings, sure, they lost Richards, they lost Cryer, but Kingston Flemings and Senek with a more experienced Sharp, Uzan, Tugler, Houston. Give me them. Just give me them. Next, Arizona versus Arkansas. Like I said in the last round, winner of Wisconsin and Arkansas is getting this win. They're going to have too much momentum against Arizona. Give me Arkansas, the Razorbacks, stampeding to the next round. BYU versus Purdue, and this is where the Cougars end. It pains me. But this is the perfect March Madness bracket. Purdue's on a hot streak, just won the Big Ten. They're at least making Elite 8, in my opinion. So we'll meet up with the Razorbacks, and now Houston, only Cougars left in the tournament. Michigan versus Alabama. Give me Michigan. I love this Michigan team. Virginia and Iowa State. Give me Virginia. They just play fantastic fundamental basketball, and that's what we're going to see from Virginia. They're going to get the win. They're going to have a nice streak going into it. Just lost to Duke barely. And they play fantastic. They play fantastic defense, especially inside. Most blocks in the country. Give me Virginia in that matchup. Next, starting to get closer and closer to Indianapolis. Duke, Michigan State. Like I said, Duke. Caleb Foster's injured, and Gogba's injured. Sorry. Give me Michigan State's high flying. They look fantastic. Do I have to say anything? I've pretty much said everything. They can shoot the lights out, offensive rebound, go back up. The 51-inch vertical Cohen cars coming across the lane. This is a March Madness team. Fun to watch. Great fundamental basketball. Michigan State gets it done and moves to the Final Four, where they will meet the winner of Florida and Houston. Florida, looking fantastic. But what I've said about Houston, give me the Cougars, baby. They're a better team than they were last year. I will die on this hill. They play amazing defense, and yeah, their offense is pretty good. Give me the Houston Cougars over Florida. National championship rematch, but Houston gets their revenge. Cougars moving on to Final Four to meet the Michigan State Spartans. Arkansas versus Purdue. There's a point where it starts to become treason if you go for Purdue 2-1. And Arkansas is the winner of the SEC. So give me Arkansas moving on, stampeding to the next round. So we've got a 2, 3, 4. We're missing a 1. Wait, we should go down here. Michigan and Virginia. Give me Michigan. I love this Wolverines team. The only 1 seed that will be making the Final Four, in my opinion. Virginia, they got the fundamental basketball, but Michigan just so talented. Axel Lendenborg, he's going to get it done. Morris Johnson, Ade Mara, they can rebound fantastic. They can just pass it to Cadeau. He'll hit. Gale will hit. Burnett will hit. Fantastic team. They're going to find the mark in Final Four. Michigan State versus Houston. So, both Michigan teams are here. The only one's going to make it because Houston is finding its way to the national championship again. Again, the Cougars are getting it done. They were so close last year. So close. 1 shot away. Houston's going back this year. Arkansas, Michigan. Super high on this Arkansas team, but they have to face against the Michigan Wolverines? Come on. Michigan gets it done. Dusty May and crew get it done. Now we've got the national championship. One side, the Houston Cougars. Unbelievable team. Fantastic defense. On the other side, we got the Michigan Wolverines. Another fantastic team. Both these teams didn't win their conference. Which, when I was putting this together, I was like, are we sure? Are we sure? But this is the perfect March Madness bracket. It has to be done. Give me Houston. The Houston Cougars get it done in our national championships once more since what? Hakeem Olajuwon? Houston Cougars get it done. So close last year. They get it done this year. Miles Uzan, Sharp, Tugler, Senek, Flemings. They get it done. Winners 2026 National Championships. There we go. Houston Cougars win it all. Let me know your opinions. And if you want to win your March Madness bracket this year, I would go with these. Thanks for watching. See you next time.